Welcome to another episode of One of Us Knows What They're Talking About, and the other one is you. I'm Lorie Burch, your host. Join us as we discuss and unpack wills, trusts, estate planning, and probate law in a way that's actually informative, interesting, and, well, hopefully entertaining. Because if you don't have a will, the state of Texas has one for you. Let's dive in. Today is exciting for a number of reasons. One, it's Cynthia's birthday.
Hi, it's my birthday.
Now, when you're listening to this and or viewing it, it will not be Cynthia's birthday. But it will be, or it is today. And it's also back to school time, right? So, you know, if you're not the childless cat ladies that are on the podcast, but if you're like me, who both has cats and child,
has children, yeah.
It is back to school time.
Your cat lady with children.
I'm a cat lady with children. What does that make me? But through IVF, so
They're still your children.
I know, but that's one of the things is also trying to eliminate IVF.
I mean, I feel that process
and they were born
was
via
arduous
C-section.
enough.
So are they real children?
God. Right.
Oh, goodness. Anyway, yes, children. Yeah, so it's back to school time. And the one thing I do know is that while you are childless cat ladies or dog ladies, you have gone to school very recently by the looks of you. And so you know what this is.
What do we count as recent?
I don't know if I count as recent anymore.
I graduated 5 years ago, so it's been a while.
In college?
Yeah,
I guess
college.
it has been. Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
2019.
Sarah's our most recent graduate on the podcast with a master's degree, which I forgot she had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I remember.
Good job. Way to go.
I think it's just like, you know, your youthfulness. We wouldn't have guessed. Inherently.
Your naivete.
Yeah, that's what we'll say.
So there are some things back to school that we wanted to talk about because actually here at Burch Law, one of our primary groups, people, clients we serve are parents of young kids. I used to say little kids, but you know, no matter how big they are, I mean, mine are like in the 90+ percentile. So they aren't little kids, they're large children. And so it's very important. There's very specialized planning for parents that we have to consider when it comes to this. Very, very significant. And also, probably the bigger deal is the ramifications of not doing the planning is so much worse for parents. And one of them, probably one of the most important ones I know as a parent that kind of strikes terror in your heart, is who would take care of them if you were no longer here, if something happened. And so it's really essential to appoint who you'd want to be a guardian of your children. Because if you don't, what happens? Sarah, what happens?
When they foster care.
Okay.
She got there.
Sam, would you like Sam, would you like to elaborate? Would you like to add anything to that, or are you good with that answer? What happens?
No, I feel like it's kind of technically like the state decides, right? So
okay, wait a minute. Rewind. What I don't feel like that was forceful enough. What did you say?
The state decides. The state of Texas.
Say that again.
The state of Texas decides.
The state of Texas decides. And that could, to Sarah's point, lead to foster care.
There we go.
Okay, I thought I was wrong for a second.
Yeah. Why are you all like this? What made you this way? So appointing a guardian is very important. And one of the biggest misperceptions that we deal with, and we talked recently about misperceptions, is that people think they have to have like a lot of money or a lot of assets to need to do this planning. But I think one of the biggest assets you have is your children, or in some cases, the biggest ass you have is your children. Not mine, though. Mine are lovely human beings. But, you know, really, what is an asset? I mean, I do actually mean that. I'm not so fond of a lot of other people's children, but I am rather fond of mine.
I've met kids, yeah.
But yeah, so assets, you know, we always think that they're like these material items or financial items, but really an asset, the way that Burch Law has defined it, is anything that is uniquely yours that's worth protecting. And so if you're not going to take care of your kids, then who is? Who is, Sam?
It's lagging out for me. Is it just me?
Okay, who is Sara?
The state.
The state. Dun dun dun. Yeah,
Dun, dun.
absolutely. So very important to do that. The other thing that I would say is really important, and this is something I don't see even a lot of firms do, certainly when you do that do it yourself, DIY, reduce legal services, AI crap that's out there, is a designation of healthcare agent. And this is important because a guardian's only if you pass away, but if you are traveling without your children, or if your children are traveling without you and in the care of other people, or if you're in an accident and you can't make decisions for them, all of this is for you to designate who can make other emergency medical decisions for them in your absence. And this is something that with a lot of blended families, for example, if you've got stepkids, can be really important because quite often I've been in the situation where you take care of your stepchildren and you want to make sure that if you have to take care of an emergency situation that you're able to present the authority to make those decisions. But it can also be if they're going to stay with grandma and grandpa while you go off on a trip or something like that. This is an important designation that we recommend. Now, again, this is for under 18 because when you become 18, and we dedicated a whole episode about this, is what you do when you go off to college. And when you're a young adult, then that is something where you should then consider getting your own medical power of attorney, financial power of attorney, medical record release, so that your parents or anyone you choose, don't know why people get so hot and bothered about this, anyone you choose can make those decisions for you. So that's another important thing, parents, for you to make sure that you are considering for your children, young and not so young. The other thing is, no matter how little or how much money you have, if they're under 18, they cannot inherit money or assets directly. It's not a thing. So if you don't set something up, then money's going to go in the court registry, and the judge is going to decide who's going to oversee it. And then what age, Sara, since I can't ask Sam any questions, what age, Sara, would the court deem that, and even insurance companies, life insurance companies, that all this money, or no matter how much money, is given to the child?
18?
18 years old. Now, I don't know how much experience you have with 18-year-olds. I will tell you that I wouldn't give them any sort amount of money to control on their own. In fact, I know a certain 19-year-old that flooded a dryer. Yep. I hope you heard me correctly. I did not misspeak. So what you can do is make sure that you've put in the parameters of, if something happens when they are at a younger age, that whatever monies are left behind, assets and what have you, that you're designating who can oversee it for them. This is called a trust. There are many types of trust. This is one of them. And you can determine what age or ages you feel comfortable with them taking over. So let's say a common age is 25. I think the thought process behind that is they are probably out of school by then, hopefully doing some adulting, hopefully have some financial acumen. But really, you can pick 30, you can pick 35, you can pick 70, you can pick 21. Again, one of the many reasons to go to a qualified law firm is to help guide you with those decisions and what makes sense. And so, but let's say it's 25. I think one thing that people misunderstand a lot is they think that the money isn't available to them until then. And that's not the case. I mean, really, parents, if you think of yourselves right now as your child's guardian and trustee, that's really what you're picking. Is you're picking who would they live with, who would oversee their day-to-day care, take them to the doctor, get them to school, back to school shopping, and which we'll get to. And then the trustee is the one that has access to the funds and then makes the decision on how things are paid and how things are taken care of financially. So then the question arises, since these are two different roles, trustee and guardian, who's going to oversee money for your kids and who's going to take care of their day-to-day living, does that need to be the same person, or does that need to be different people? Thoughts?
Oh God.
I didn't call on you, Sarah, but you looked like you wanted to answer, and I'm fascinated by this.
Well, since Sam and Cyntia are a little behind, I felt like I had to answer, and I don't know the answer.
What do you think?
I think the answer is no, they
This is
don't
more
have to be
fun.
the same.
They don't have to be the same. That's correct.
Oh.
Should they be or should they not be?
Should they? Yes.
Should they?
I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Sarah, I have a
Yes.
quick question for you. So let's say for some reason you have a kid now. And do you want to be
That
able
is
to
scary.
access money to take care of them? Or do you want to go to another adult, say, hey, I need money to take care of this kid. Can you please allow me to get some money so I can take care of them? Or do you just want to be able to do it?
So, yes, a guardian and trustee can be different people, can be the same people. Whether or not, Sarah, they should be is the number one answer all attorneys give, which is it depends.
Oh.
Isn't that the point of customizing it and not filling out blanks of a form, but getting the advice?
So true.
So it really depends on the situation and the scenario. And is it easier if they're the same? Well, certainly, because I was using the example of parents, how you're the guardian and the trustee. And you probably wouldn't like, if you're taking care of the kids, that you have to go somewhere else and say, I need money for back to school shopping, or I need money for a doctor's appointment. However, in this scenario, it is not you as the parent. And you may want to create that checks and balance. And where one person or one couple is taking care of your child and there's somebody else who is overseeing money. It also sometimes will be different if I've had couples where they feel like that's the best way to ensure that both sides of the family are represented. So if you've got parent one's family being guardian and parent two's family being trustee, then kind of puts into play that they'll be interacting with each other. So that's another school of thought. The other thing for our divorced clients, so if you are getting divorced or are divorced and you have young kids, you definitely need to update your will and estate plan, or perhaps get one for the first time. So while you, in most cases, cannot exclude your ex, the other legal parent, from being the guardian of the child if something happens to you, you absolutely can make sure that somebody else will oversee your money and assets for your child if something happens to you, meaning you would designate the trustee that would probably have a great time working with your ex, but would be responsible for your money to take care of your child without your ex having any sort of influence or say over that. And since financial discrepancies can be one of the leading causes of divorce, this is something that's really important that can be done. So, the final thing from a legal standpoint that I want to address in parents, unless any of you, and when I say any of you, I really mean Cyntia, can think of, is substantively relevant to the practice of law, is beneficiary designation. So, I actually just hosted a very special beneficiary seminar last night. I thought it went really well. And so well that no one, I think, had to schedule any follow up appointments because I just covered all the material and knocked that out of the park. Yay, Lorie. But
Well,
what we went through is this. And that actually was about a 45, 50-minute presentation. So obviously, I'm not going to get into all of that. But high level, what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is when it comes to assets like life insurance, investments, money market, annuity, retirement accounts, um, brokerage accounts. Those are all things, and even sometimes checking and savings accounts. Those are all things that you may have put a beneficiary type designation on. A type of beneficiary could be a POD, a pay on death. So sometimes people, yes, will put these on their bank accounts. Again, this is not saying you should or should not do that. This is very customized advice. But the point that I want to get across here is that however you do that, that will preempt anything that your will or trust says. So if your will says, I give everything to my 5-year-old, but if they're under 25, then it goes into a trust for them. This is who oversees it, yada, yada. But then you go over to your life insurance and you name the 5-year-old, guess what? That's not going to connect to your will with the trust. In fact, what the life insurance company is going to do, this is how generous they are. You ready? They'll say you got a few options. One of them is, we'll just keep the money right now. We'll keep it. And when you turn 18, we'll give it to you, but we'll just keep it for right now. Other options are what we already described, going to the court, having to get a judge involved, money in court registry, age 18, it's given to them. So um, no real coordination with your plan and what you want. So that's one example of how that's a big deal. The other thing couched in what I just said, parents, is one of the biggest mistakes you can make is naming your young child as a beneficiary. Now, it also doesn't mean that you should just name who you want to take care of your child as the beneficiary. So let's say I've named
do that.
my sister as guardian and or trustee. So maybe okay, I shouldn't name my child as beneficiary. I'll just name my sister. So I'm not going to elaborate on whether or not you can trust, whoever you're putting in there. Let's just presume you can. In my case, of course, I would trust my sister. The issue is that is a personal asset of theirs. So one, if they're giving money to your child, there can be gift taxes. Two, if they get sued, file bankruptcy, what have you, that money that they inherited from you that's supposed to be for your child is all subject to that. And then also, what if something happens to sister? What's going to ensure that it's going to continue for the use of your child? So there's just wrong things all around. The best thing you can do is get a quality estate plan done by a qualified law firm, because the quality estate plan is going to make sure you have a plan that's customized, that works for you. The qualified estate planning firm is going to make sure that they're giving you guidance and help when it comes to how should everything else be connected to this. So parents, I know in a very real sense, there are a lot of decisions that have to be made and a lot of responsibility that comes with creating our future generation. And making sure that you have taken care of them and protected them is one of the cornerstones that you should be doing, and you should be doing now, because they're counting on you to take care of them, whether you're here or not. That's one of my favorite things to say. And we actually have a great ad that we created around that. So hopefully you all will look for that, because it's very triggering on purpose. But that in a nutshell, many other things that we could talk about, but that in a nutshell is what parents need to be thinking about, in addition to all the fun stuff that comes with back to school. Anybody want to interject or provide more insight into this before we get to the Sam Sara segment?
We can only do so much planning for people. You also have to go out, make sure you talk to your CPAs, your financial advisors, things like that to make sure everything works together. And we are willing to work with your CPAs, financial advisors. So just keep that in mind that we can't answer everything, but we can give you some really good guidance.
Yes, for sure. So for those of you who have advisors, another thing to look for when it comes to what type of firm you're going to use is ones that will help coordinate all of that and not just do something, but the head doesn't know what the tail is doing type situation. So I do think Sam and Sara had some thoughts about back to school. First, did you have some tips that you wanted to share?
Did we? Yes. So I'm gonna start off.
This
I'm
one's
gonna start off with
mine.
my tip.
Was that like did we, or was that like did we?
Oh, did we?
It was
yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
So this is my tip, specifically for college students. Do not buy your textbooks before the first day. Just download them illegally. Burch Law does not support this, but do it.
No, this is solely Sara as an individual, not as an employee.
Right. Burch Law does not represent my opinion.
Not
An
sponsored.
actual tip. How about
Nor
this?
do we
An actual
condone.
tip. Yeah, don't know that. Another thing you can do, Sara, is you can actually reach out to your professors and ask them what version of the book that they're using and if a slightly older version will work, because you can typically find it a lot cheaper online. And a lot of professors are like, yeah, I get it. They're expensive. We do not condone theft or illegal activities. Just put that out there.
Wow. Okay. Do we have a better tip?
One thing that I always did, this is for college and high school, especially in the summer, your sleep schedule gets all kind of whacked up. So something that always helped me, even though I really only did it the last couple
whacked up.
Yeah, I didn't.
Is that a New Zealand expression?
No, I didn't want to swear, and I panicked.
You could have also said jacked up, messed up,
picked up,
hecked up, as you say.
Yeah. Is to start fixing your sleep schedule before you start school, so that way you're not dying for the first couple weeks until you adjust.
I mean, if you're a high school kid and you're in band, I feel like the 2-a-days before, like the month before school starts,
helps.
Really do that for you.
Are you saying this because you were in band?
I was, and
what did you do in band?
I was a twirler and I played clarinet.
Ooh.
So I had 4-a-days.
Yes, yeah, we did.
It's one of my favorite Cyntia effects.
We did like theater camp during high school, so that helped my sleep schedule quite a bit.
Sara, what extracurricular activities, if any, did you do that were sanctioned by the school? And I don't mean going behind the gym and getting high.
Did you do
why
that?
Does everybody think that? No. Why does everybody think that?
I was
just too broken for that.
Why does everyone think that?
In high school, no, I didn't do any extracurriculars.
I was also in French club. Were you in a club?
No.
Oh.
Not like stamp club or whatever.
Stamp club?
Yeah, it's not actually stamps.
Oh, what is it? Like Key Club?
Yeah, Key Club, not Stamp Club. I think there was actually a Stamp Club at my school.
I was part of like the National Honor Society or something.
Well, it just means you got good grades. That wasn't really hard.
Right, that doesn't really.
You don't really have to do a whole lot for that, but like for Key Club, you do.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for theater, I don't think I would have graduated with honors, but I got for that.
Did they give you a letter for being in theater?
A letter? No, but I got like cords.
Like a Letterman jacket?
Oh, Letterman. Yeah. We had to pay for it, though. The football team didn't have to pay for theirs, and I was salty about it.
Wow, strong
if you
feelings.
If you were in band all 4 years, the band would pay for the jacket and the main letter. But if you wanted anything else on it, like the other decorations, you had to pay from yourself.
Yeah, I had to pay extra because I did like ASL club and everything, so I had like ASL patches and everything.
Mine had a little sailor collar. It was really cute. I
I
have
wonder
it
what my
still.
nickname is on it. I
I'll
have to
bring
look.
it.
What was your nickname?
I don't remember. I have to see. My
Sure.
friends called me
I
a
don't
lot of
believe
things,
you.
so no, I genuinely do not remember it. It's probably like
Oh.
Donna Noble or something.
I have a letter jacket from Plano Senior High. Shout out. And so I don't know. I know Cyntia knows this. Do you all know that Kimberly and I went to high school together?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, but we didn't meet each other. One thing is Plano's really large. My graduating class, I think, was nearly 1,500 students. But the biggest reason I tell people that we did not meet each other is this: we both have letter jackets. Mine is for mock trial, and hers is for softball. So we did not run in the same circles by any stretch of the imagination. And the great thing is I need to bring it in, but on the P, the actual letter, they'll usually put the symbol of whatever it is you got the letter for. And I am certain they don't have a gavel for mock trial. And I'm pretty sure it's a baseball bat shoved into a football.
I love
That is my
honestly.
interpretation.
That's real good.
I'll bring it in. So the 14-year-old Kaya is starting high school next week.
Mhm.
And she'll be going to Vines, which is the high school that leads into Plano Senior High. And so we've gone to a couple, well, Kimberly's gone to a ton. I've gone to one parent event at Plano Senior High. And I didn't do it that time, but before she graduates, I've got 4 years to do this. I just feel like Kimberly and I have to wear our letter jackets to an event and humiliate her.
Yeah, you do.
You do. Yeah.
I feel like this has to happen. For sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay. So sleep schedule. Were there any other amazing, helpful, not really, tips that you all had for back to school days?
Well, this is more so Sam's tip. I don't really know what she means by this, but
I don't either. No clue.
Well, I explained it to you, and you just put
you mentioned
it.
So you mentioned Peppa Pig.
Wait, what?
How is that a fun aesthetic?
So you know, like when you buy like a new bag or like
no. For our listeners, say the thing. What is your tip?
Oh, to have a fun aesthetic. And by aesthetic, I mean like, you know, when you buy like your pencil bags or like fun, I don't know, erasers or whatever, you like have like you match like you. And this was my examples. You have all of like say Peppa Pig things or Blue's Clues or it's all pink. But she just said Peppa Pig.
Sam, I have a question. Did you have Peppa Pig stuff?
No, it was just the first thing that came to my brain.
Why is it the first thing you draw it on?
I don't know.
Earlier you talked about Doctor Who with Donna Noble. Like you couldn't have gone along that vein.
I mean, that's not really like a thing you can buy. I wasn't thinking just like high school, like elementary or I don't know. I don't know.
Do you want to know what backpack and lunch bag and thermos Adley has picked out to start kindergarten? She starts kindergarten next week.
Oh, Frozen.
Nope. Is it unicorns?
Moana. That was last year.
Wait, Moana.
What'd you say, Sam?
Unicorn?
Moana? No, that's Poppy. That's more Poppy's jam. Sarah, did you have a guess?
No, my guess was Frozen.
Is it cats?
Roblox? I don't know if that's
kind of getting warmer, Cyntia. Is it a cat? Is it not a cat? Oh no, that was so funny.
Okay.
So no, only actually Sam, you never responded to it, and Sarah, I never know whether you're awake after 8 p.m. So I texted Cyntia, Sarah, and Jordan because they seem to be pretty amused by Adley, my 5-year-old's antics. And Adley texts me a link she texts me stuff from Amazon all the time that she finds. And the thing that she texted me, and I'm sitting right next to her, so I had to screenshot this. It's a phone case. It's an iPhone phone case and I'm trying to figure out how to explain it. It's a picture of a really chubby cat, except it has a human stomach that's really, really large, that the cat's looking at the naked fat belly that's hanging over the
They're
shorts.
jeans? They're
Like
jorts. They're jean shorts.
Yeah,
shorts.
shorts. Yeah,
Yeah.
shorts.
Let's not start that conversation again. And we'll see if like this is for people who can see, who are actually watching this, but
It's just
my
the way
God.
it's like the stomach is bare is just really like
And like the way that little paw is like pushing
Yeah,
into
like
the side of the
poking it.
belly. Here, Sarah,
I
let
just-
me forward this to you.
and I just get that from her. And like, what is this? And she's like, I want this. And I'm like, you don't even have an iPhone. And she's like, okay, then it's for you. No, anyway, Hello Kitty. Hello Kitty is the answer. That's the
Kitty.
Oh, that was the other. Yeah.
Although Cyntia, the other guess that you had is because I feel like Kimberly jumped the gun on this a little bit in pre-ordering the Hello Kitty because we've had it for a while. So she has moved on to picking out on Amazon unicorn backpack matching lunch bag. But then yesterday she said that that's for, listen to this, that is for when she's 10 years old and she starts high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? With your kid, I can see it.
I know. That was what I said. Is I was like, well, you know, you won't be in high school when you're 10. And then I said, well, you might.
Yeah.
So
Anyway. She's gonna get so
So
bored so quick.
that's what
in
you
kindergarten.
mean, Sam, by have a fun aesthetic.
Yeah.
There's
actually-
got to be a more artful way to say that. Like, what am I missing?
Anytime somebody says have a fun aesthetic, I'm like, oh, so have like a shtick you're known for. Like, oh, that's that girl that only has blue things. Or, oh, that's the girl that's really obsessed with like
make it
neon.
fun.
You know? I don't know.
Oh my gosh. What would my aesthetic be?
Elvis.
Teal.
Teal Elvis.
Teal Elvis. Yeah. Oh, you
And
can.
Taylor.
So many, but not really. Okay. So those are some good tips. So before we wrap up here, let's talk a little bit about if we can all harken back to the days of yesteryear, when we were starting to go back to school. What was it that we were looking forward to? Did you even look forward to going back to school, or were you like, oh man?
School supply shopping.
Ooh, that was always fun.
Sarah and I are stationary people.
Yeah. Yeah. I always wanted the nice stationery. My mom was always like,
Yeah.
no.
It was just
Or
the fact
for
that it was all
me,
nice and clean and crisp.
Yeah.
picking out a new Trapper Keeper. Shout out Gen X.
I had a Trapper Keeper 3.
Yeah, but you're an old soul.
What's a Trapper
am.
Keeper?
It has a zipper around like the sides. You open it up, and inside there's
It
like
doesn't
3
have a
rings.
zipper. It's Velcro.
Well, some had
It would
zippers,
have
binders.
so you could keep your
It would
pens
be
in
one
there.
of your. It would be one of your aesthetics.
Yeah, you could get as obnoxious. Lisa Frank was a big thing.
Ah, loved Lisa Frank.
The Lisa Frank pencils, the Trapper Keepers,
monkey?
the notebooks. Lisa Frank?
She's a really colorful one.
Yeah.
Where it looks like a unicorn's thrown up on her stuff.
Oh.
Yeah.
I need you all to look up Trapper Keepers because they are pretty kick-ass for sure. Can you still get any? I might just want to get one. I'm gonna start taking that to the
you can
office.
get them.
Can.
Oh, these. Okay, I didn't know that was what they were
Like
called.
the Club Med one, not Club Med.
It literally says on it, Trapper Keeper.
Huh.
It's not like we were holding out on you.
Yeah.
Do they have a Care Bear one?
I see. They have some very like 80s, 70s styles right now. This one's a Nuclear Moon one.
I don't know why I can't remember.
But yeah, like y'all had more of the Velcro ones. It evolved, and we had a lot more of the ones with zippers, so it was easier to keep like a bunch of like all your junk in there, like highlighters, pencils, pens that you technically weren't supposed to use, erasers.
I think I had one with like a lion on it. And it was
Nice.
light blue.
Nice.
I'm not sure. What else did you all look forward to going back to school?
I feel like seeing friends, especially because since I
Ew.
did theater, there was a lot of friends, theater friends. So, and then the friends that weren't in theater, I usually had lunch with, and then they'd make fun of me for bringing chicken sushi.
They would make fun of you for what?
Bringing chicken sushi and know that chicken is not raw.
Wait, no.
You
We're
brought this up,
backing up.
Sam. Why?
What the hell is chicken sushi?
It's just instead of having like salmon or crab, it's like chicken teriyaki or like cooked chicken.
Who would make this?
We would.
It's an Australia.
No, you
New
can
Zealand
get it in
thing.
Carrollton. I would like to point that out.
Well, now you can.
That tells you everything you need to know.
This is, something from the homeland.
Yeah, like if you go
Is
to
it
like
something
any
they
mall,
do over there?
yeah, like you go to any mall, there's like a
Because
little
there's no
sushi
place in
stand.
New Zealand to fish.
But they have chickens.
No, like you can get like you can get normal sushi, like you can get non-chicken sushi, but another option is to get chicken sushi.
I would eat chicken sushi
It's
as a
max.
non-seafood
I think
eater.
you'd like it. Yeah, it's max.
Do y'all remember at lunchtime those rectangular pizzas?
Yeah. Oh yeah, those were always really good. And then the mashed potatoes that were like the smiley face.
I don't remember the smiley face mashed potatoes.
Sam has lived an entirely alternate universe.
Well, they're not mashed potatoes.
Wow, this Trapper Keeper. It has a
I know what you're talking about.
I want
fries that are the smiley fries.
Yeah,
the smiley fries. I love those.
That's what I was meaning. I see mashed potatoes. I didn't mean.
Yeah, yes, you said mashed potatoes. So I was like,
if you open it,
I'm sorry that we didn't know that you meant
smashed and
French fries.
Smiley fries, mashed potatoes.
Are they fries?
Or there was this
mashed potato.
What's it called? At our school, they called it Chuck Wagon Dinner, but it's like this macaroni, cheesy, saucy thing. It was actually really yummy. So, Sam, I think you would say it slaps.
Thank you. Let's try it.
Wow. Well, I guess you all did put on the list lunch. Now, did any of you go off campus for lunch?
No, we weren't allowed to leave.
Yeah, we weren't allowed to leave.
Oh,
every
really?
now and then, my brother would bring me, he'd bring me lunch every now and then. He was pretty cool like that.
Okay. Well, good. All right. Well, I think that wraps up our back to school episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
So lots of excitement afoot. So get your legal documents in order. Take care of your kids. Enjoy not having them home, driving you crazy. I know there are parents who are experiencing that. Enjoy them going back to college, not driving you crazy. Enjoy whatever it is that you're doing. And then make sure, no matter what, that you have a fun aesthetic. Thanks for listening. And just to cover all our bases about what you just heard, I'm sorry and you're welcome. Make sure you subscribe so you never miss an episode. And tell your friends about us. We do webinars and live events. The best way to stay up to date is to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. Links are in the show notes. If there's a topic you'd like us to cover, maybe you have a question you'd like us to answer, or maybe you just want to say hi, hit the link in the show notes or go to burch-law.com/podcast and fill out the contact form.
Much better.
Yeah, I thought that had a lot of energy.